Welcome to our channel. Today, we're delving into a chilling yet compelling subject: the top 10 serial killers throughout history. Before we begin, please note that this video contains disturbing content that may not be suitable for all audiences. These are individuals whose crimes sent shivers down spines and left a lasting impact on society. So, before we dive in, if you find this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for more true crime stories. Join us today as we uncover the unsettling events that unfolded, and let's unravel the chilling adventures of these serial killers. Serial killers have long fascinated and horrified society. Defined by the FBI as individuals who commit a series of murders, typically 3 or more, with a psychological motive and a distinct pattern, these criminals often defy understanding. In this video, we'll explore 10 of the most notorious serial killers, examining their backgrounds, methods, and the impact they left on the world. Their motivations vary, ranging from a desire for control to a twisted sense of pleasure. Let's delve into the chilling stories of these infamous individuals. Starting our list at number 10 is Jack the Ripper, one of the most infamous unidentified serial killers. In 1888, London's Whitechapel district, a place already steeped in poverty and despair, became gripped by a horrifying series of murders. Jack the Ripper, a name born from a chilling letter to the police, would become synonymous with terror. The first victim, Mary Ann Nichols, was found on August 31st. Her throat was slashed, and her body bore signs of horrific mutilation. Fear gripped the community as 4 more women, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly, met similar fates in the following weeks. These weren't ordinary murders. The savagery, particularly the abdominal mutilations, fueled speculation that the killer possessed some anatomical knowledge. Was he a doctor? A butcher? The press, hungry for a story, ran rampant, plastering gruesome details across newspapers. The public, whipped into a frenzy, desperately sought answers. The overwhelmed police force conducted interviews by flickering gaslight, chasing down hundreds of leads. The lack of forensic science at the time made solving the case incredibly difficult. The victims, often ostracized prostitutes, provided little in the way of reliable witnesses. Suspects emerged from every corner: local businessman, a deranged medical student, even Queen Victoria's grandson. Theories swirled: a satanic cult, a deranged loner. But the truth remained a chilling enigma. Letters, some possibly hoaxes, signed by Jack the Ripper, fueled both public interest and fear. Despite the immense pressure, the investigation faltered. No definitive evidence, no clear motive, no capture. Jack the Ripper vanished into the labyrinthine streets of Whitechapel, leaving a trail of terror and unanswered questions. The Ripper's case remains a chilling, unsolved mystery, a testament to the darkness that can lurk in the human heart. It's a reminder of a time when fear and social anxieties fueled speculation. But beyond the grisly details, the Ripper's case is a story of a city in turmoil, a victimized community, and a killer who continues to haunt the imagination. At number 9, we have Aileen Wuornos, one of the few female serial killers. Aileen Wuornos, a name synonymous with a dark chapter in American crime, wasn't your typical serial killer. In the late 1980s, Florida's highways became hunting grounds for Wuornos, a former prostitute who preyed on men seeking companionship. Born in 1956, Wuornos's life was a tale of hardship from the start. Abandoned by her father and raised by unstable grandparents, she left home at 14 and drifted into a life of prostitution. Relationships were volatile, and a brief marriage ended in divorce. By the late 1980s, Wuornos was working the highways of Florida as a prostitute. She met Louis Fell, another drifter, and they embarked on a nomadic existence. Financial strain and a power struggle may have been the catalyst for the horrific events to come. Between 1989 and 1990, 7 men met grisly ends at Wuornos's hand. She lured them with the promise of sex, then robbed and shot them, often leaving their bodies in remote areas. Wuornos later claimed self-defense, stating the men had become violent. A pawnbroker's tip, recognizing a victim's belongings, led to Wuornos's downfall. Fingerprint evidence linked her to the crimes, and a fellow sex worker provided a crucial eyewitness account. Wuornos, refusing legal representation for a time, displayed a defiant and, at times, erratic demeanor. A jury found Wuornos guilty, and she received 6 death sentences.
About her decision.
I have made peace with my Lord, and I have asked forgiveness. I am sorry that my acts of self-defense ended up in court like this, but I take full responsibility for my actions. It was them or me. I am sorry for all the pain that my actions have caused. I am prepared to die if you say it is necessary. But I am not.
By pleading guilty, it appeared that Lee Wuornos was in reality hoping for mercy and forgiveness, but that is not what happened.
Executed in 2002, she remains a controversial figure. The Aileen Wuornos case raises complex questions about gender, violence, and the cycle of abuse. Next on our list, at number 8, is John Wayne Gacy, also known as the Killer Clown. John Wayne Gacy, a seemingly cheerful figure known as Pogo the Clown, hid a monstrous secret that would shatter the tranquility of suburban Chicago in the 1970s. Gacy, a contractor known for his community involvement, was responsible for the brutal murders and disappearances of at least 33 young men and boys. Gacy presented a friendly face to the world. He volunteered as a clown at children's parties and charitable events. Beneath this cheerful facade, however, lurked a dark predator. Gacy often lured his victims, young men and teenagers, with the promise of a job or a place to stay. Gacy's ranch-style house became a stage for unimaginable horror. He would overpower his victims, often using handcuffs as part of a fake magic trick, then torture and murder them. The bodies were typically disposed of in the crawl space beneath the house, a space that reeked of death, despite Gacy's attempts to mask the odor with lime. As young men in Gacy's circle began to vanish, suspicion started to rise. When 15-year-old Robert Piest disappeared in 1978, his mother, concerned by the lack of police action, took matters into her own hands. She relentlessly pressured authorities, keeping the case alive. The investigation led to Gacy's home, where the stench emanating from the crawl space raised red flags. A search uncovered the remains of 29 victims buried beneath the house. Further investigation revealed additional bodies buried elsewhere on the property. Gacy initially denied involvement, but the overwhelming evidence, including bite marks and ligature marks on the bodies, led to his arrest in 1978. During his trial, Gacy attempted to downplay his actions, blaming his alter ego, Jack, for the murders. However, the jury saw through his facade, convicting him of 33 murders. John Wayne Gacy's crimes sent shockwaves through the nation. The contrast between his friendly public persona and his monstrous reality exposed a chilling truth. Evil can hide in plain sight. Gacy was executed in 1994, but the memory of his crimes continues to serve as a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface. Coming in at number 7 is Jeffrey Dahmer, known as the Milwaukee Cannibal. Jeffrey Dahmer's name is synonymous with monstrous acts. Between 1978 and 1991, this seemingly ordinary man from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, embarked on a reign of terror that left 17 men and boys dead. Dahmer targeted young men and boys, many from marginalized communities, who were... In 1991, Dahmer's crimes finally came to light when a would-be victim escaped and alerted the police. A search of Dahmer's apartment revealed the horrific truth. He readily confessed to his crimes, providing chilling details about his motivations and actions. Dahmer's trial was a media spectacle, with the public struggling to come to terms with the depths of human depravity. He was found sane and sentenced to 15 life terms in prison. In 1994, he was beaten to death by another inmate. At number 6, we have Ted Bundy, one of the most notorious and charismatic serial killers in history. Ted Bundy, a seemingly charming college student, harbored a darkness that would leave America scarred. Across the 1970s, Bundy unleashed a reign of terror, leaving a trail of bodies and shattered communities in his wake. Bundy presented a picture of normalcy. Intelligent and charismatic, he enjoyed relationships with unsuspecting women. However, beneath the surface lurked a predator. Bundy typically approached his victims in public places, often feigning injury or impersonating an authority figure. Once alone, he would overpower them, a horrifying truth hidden behind his handsome facade. Bundy's crimes spanned several states, making it difficult for authorities to connect the dots. He targeted young women, often college students, with a specific type, with long brown hair and a side part. The brutality of the attacks was matched by their calculated nature. Bundy often revisited crime scenes, a chilling display of control. By 1974, a task force was formed to investigate a string of unsolved homicides linked by disturbing similarities, bore an uncanny resemblance to him. Incriminating evidence, including bite marks and fibers, began to tighten the noose. Bundy, acting as his own attorney in a move fueled by narcissism, became the center of a media frenzy. The charismatic killer captivated the public with his intelligence and chilling demeanor. Despite his efforts, Bundy was ultimately convicted of the murders of 2 Florida college students, receiving the first of 3 death sentences. Facing execution, Bundy finally confessed to a horrific number of murders, offering details only the killer could know. His motives remained shrouded, a twisted combination of sexual sadism and a need for control. It highlighted the limitations of law enforcement in the pre-DNA era and the enduring fear of the unknown stalker. Bundy's execution in 1989 brought a measure of closure for the victims' families. Okay, so let's wrap up here. If you want to know the remaining top 5 serial killers or second part of this list, check out this video. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and share it with others. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth stories of crime and justice. Until next time, stay safe and vigilant. And remember, if you or someone you know is in need of help, don't hesitate to reach out to the appropriate resources. Together, we can make a difference.